Here we are just north of Dynamite Park, along the border of Dynamite Park, and we're entering into the deeper portion of that park and heading down into the area also that is part of the greater Lower Rouge Park here in the city of Wayne. It's a nice walking trail here. Looks like it's okay if you had some wheels on it a little bit. You would want to come down here when it was too wet with wheels. But if you're riding a cross-country bike, that would be no problem along here, even in wet weather. Got a nice stand-up viburnum going on over there. We're having a very, very lush season this year. Looking really nice. Again, the trail has been maintained well, so it's still open and free here. Easy walking, easy riding. If you're on one of the... a catalpa tree, check it out. Beautiful. All right, there we have it, the beginning of the trail. Be back to you again soon. We've been walking along the trail here, and they did some clearing out. The county came in and did some clearing out earlier this year, and they did a good job. And we're taking a look now at this footpath here. We're not going to go too far in, unless we can. We're going to see what's going on over there, because I'm looking... Do you see that rise in the ground over there? That's some tall stuff going on. I don't know what's going on back over there. And we can see here that Friends of the Rouge has come down, some of their volunteers, and they put out some trees. That's what we're seeing here in these little plastic containers. Taking a careful step around here, going to avoid some of the, it's not much poison ivy, but it's around here somewhere. It's going to avoid it. And as you can see here, there is quite a rise. I think we're coming up on the edge of the river there, and then we're seeing the opposite shore. And yes, the colors that you're seeing in this video, they're happening right in front of me right now, here in the city of Wayne. And it's still a fairly well-defined trail that I have here. That's allowing me to move through here with very little encumbrance. This is, of course, a walking trail or a hiking trail. Wouldn't take a bicycle in here only because there's so much vegetation and we'd want to avoid having a problem with that. Now I'm going to sign off just for a minute because there's some unique things going on here. So there's this beautiful open meadow that we can now easily access because the trail has been prepared for us, reopened. There's some footpaths through here. It's not clearly discernible right now, but it heads off to the right on the other side of these plants and heads on down the river. So we'll take the rest of that walk some other day. Right now I wanted to share the river with you at this point, and I'm looking at something that is just amazing me right now because I haven't seen this part of the river yet. We can see across the way, is that 30 or 40 foot high? Now that's not quite as high as the cliffs of the Neuse, which occur just east of here, but that is just an amazing geologic formation. That would be very nice to investigate and explore, and we'll be taking care of that. But you know what we need to do? We need to find an easy way to access the far side of the river. And if you have any ideas for that, please put it down in the comments or contact us directly and we'll see what we can do about that. Isn't this just nice? Beautiful. Again, look at the rise in that land there. Extraordinary. Sometimes you want to just go for a little walk. Take a look at what's going on around outside, especially when you're working in this big, hectic city. And all those crowded areas. Oh my goodness. I'm going to show you something in a minute that's remarkable to me. And let's just take a look at it. And here we head down this most amazing trail. Easily accessible. Great hiking trail, great walking trail, great jogging trail. Good for biking. And it looks like you can get folks in here with wheels. So, there's a little bit of that too. But isn't this just a wonderful lane? I could almost see a horse and buggy moving along here. Off to our right is a field that has been allowed to revert, so that is a wild field over there. You see a lot of native plants growing, and of course they've made their way over into the forest. We have the transition zone, and then off to our left, leading down to the river in the background. Birds know I'm here. So I'm going to head a little further along this trail. Here we are along the banks of the Lower Rouge River here in the city of Wayne. We're taking a look at a small area that is an oxbow. I'm not sure where that phrase came from, but what's happening here is the water's coming from the left on your screen, heading down in front of us, heading to the right on your screen, and then you'll see it takes an immediate left turn. It's heading back the other way, and it heads around that way and continues meandering down the channel as it should. On the other side of the banks, we see some rising land, and eventually, if this continued on in its natural course, what we don't see up there that's down in front of us now, curving to the left, that's where the water is coming from, it would eventually make its way through that landscape, and the channel would head over that way, leaving this area either a pond or a remnant, or begin to fill in with meadow. As it is right now, there is some material across the channel, and what's happening is on the lower side, not the lower left, but in the left of your screen, we're seeing the water flowing through where it can get through the channel, right? Now, the water on the other side of that dam right there it looks to be 3, maybe even 4 inches deeper or higher than on this side. And what's happening on this side is the water flows around, and you'll see now at the center of your screen a deep pool, along with the channel that's being cut on the left, a deep pool. And that's where the fish would accumulate, and that's also a good place for them to make new fish. And then we see over here to our right an area where we're seeing some sandy area where they might have put their eggs or had their fry, and that sandy area right there. I'm not seeing the fish that I would expect to see here. Sometimes I see some minnows, but I haven't seen them since easily, I think, almost 2 years right now. But you know what I did see? I saw a book the other day. I saw a book by a fellow, and he has a collection of many of the rare fish that belong in this river, that have occurred in this river historically. And he got them from different areas where they're still extant, where they're still around. And I'm going to go visit him. And when I go visit him, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a video, and I'm going to show you what he's doing there. And we're going to see if we can replicate that. Now, we got to clean the water up here. That's what we're working on. Very hard to do. And we're making strides, as you've seen in some of our other posts and other stories that we've talked about. So it's coming down to the water. We're going to do that. And when that's done and when it's ready, it'll be time to bring the fish back. Right now, we're just going to enjoy this beautiful vision. It's just a nice looking place. This will be the last section of our filming today, and we are on a footpath above the path that we were just on, and we're also above the river. It's looking to be at least, could be 35, 40 feet above the river down below, which again is coming around at us at the first part of an oxbow, and then it heads on down, meanders slowly to the east in more or less a slow and easy flow. And then the rest of this walking trail, we're not going to go any further here today. And this is a different kind of walking trail, as you can see. There it is. So we'll come back some other day with some other folks and take a look at it. What happens here with this footpath is, unless there is a blockage at the bridge, this should take us right down to, heading east, right down into Inkster. So we're seeing a large section of this footpath. We're connecting it now and recording it on video. So this section heads on down east into Inkster, and if we head back the other way, we would need to switch over to the opposite side of the trail at one short point. But we do have a footpath heading down through Wayne, directly through Wayne, over into Canton. And at low water, you wouldn't actually have to change shores, but we're gonna get this all worked out. And it's just a lovely day here above the river, up here on the cliffs of the Neuse, in the city of Wayne, Michigan. Thanks for watching.